Hi, I'm Connie Marangwanda, and I'm a registered social worker working in private practice in Burlington, Ontario. The music track I'm using is by Chris Collins. Today we're going to be doing a meditation which focuses on concepts from Dick Schwartz's internal family systems model. So today we are going to be focusing on our parts of self. So what I'm going to have you do first is just gently close your eyes. Making sure that you're in a comfortable position and place. Giving yourself permission to do this IFS or internal family systems informed meditation. I would like you to be aware of and accepting of any part that comes forward as we do this meditation. Quite frequently when people meditate, they expect something really positive to happen, perhaps a calming experience. And that isn't always the case. Sometimes we are facing dark moments of the soul, or there are parts of ourselves that are warring or struggling. With Dick Schwartz's model, he says that we all have various parts within us that have roles. In this case, he says that we have protective parts. We can almost look at them like defense mechanisms. But these parts develop or are there fulfilling a certain role that have been established often from very young ages. And they are often protecting what he calls exiled parts of self, or parts of the self that are very young, very vulnerable, that often hold our traumas and hurts. Exiled parts might be parts like grief or loss, early abandonment or abuse, fear, even intense fear, dependency, shame. These are just some examples. These are the parts of self that try to remain unconscious or that we push down. And so our protector parts come in to try to keep us safe. We have manager parts of self that are very proactive. They work hard to keep the exiles from emerging or popping up. And then we have what he calls firefighter parts, more reactive parts, which are more extreme in their efforts to try to control the reactions or the emergences of the exiled parts. Also, sometimes managers and firefighters don't always work together, and so maybe holding a little battle between themselves. This meditation was recorded during the COVID-19 social isolation or social distancing procedures. Many of us are quarantined to our homes. Take a moment just to reflect on that, to allow the enormity of that to sink in. Accept that reality head on within yourself right now. And as you think about that for a moment, what does this bring up in you? What do you notice in your body? What do you notice in your mind? You may feel overwhelmed. You may feel anxious. Afraid. You might have thoughts related to wanting to do something, impelling you to engage or act. Some people may even have thoughts of wanting to hurt themselves, or fatalistic thoughts related to the idea that perhaps maybe life is futile. We may have more extreme thoughts. You might be blaming yourself, blaming others, angry with the world, with the government. Whatever comes up, whatever comes forward, honor it. Try not to push it away. Hear it out. Treat it as a friend. Listen. Attend to whatever comes up. You may wish to tell yourself, I'm noticing that I have a part of me that feels afraid. I have a part of me that feels calm. I have a part of me that feels maybe sick. I have a part of me that's angry. I have a part of me that is judgmental or controlling. Recognize these parts and thank them for coming forward. You may even notice other memories coming forward. You might notice a flooding of memories, reminding you of times in the distant past when you may have struggled. Times when you may not have had a lot of money, or where your goals were stopped short somehow. We are all being called to pause right now. Others of you might be being called to be more active. If you're a medical professional, if you work in essential services, you might feel overwhelmed, feeling experiences of terror. The terrorized parts of you are the parts that we often try to exile. Just tell yourself it's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel worried. I would like you to just ask these parts if they would be willing just to separate from you a little. Some parts of you might seem very extreme, very much like they're controlling you. You might have a part of you that just wants to stay drunk. You might have a part of you that wants to be high or wants to just completely get lost in television, a part that wants to dissociate or distract or withdraw. I would just like you to gently acknowledge those parts and just ask them if they would make room for the part of you that is your guiding system, your internal guiding system, what Dick Schwartz calls your leader self. Perhaps your leader self is your most intuitive self. If you're a Christian, you might call this self the Holy Spirit. We all might have different views of who our highest self or that internal leader self is. Just ask your parts for a moment if they would be willing to separate from you just a little so you can access this leader part. Dick Schwartz says this leader part espouses 8 key characteristics. This part is calm, has clarity, is connected, has compassion, is creative, is confident, has courage, this part is curious. I would like you to ask your parts to make room for especially some curiosity, some compassion and connection. Let your parts know that you are curious about them and that you understand that they're working really hard to try to help you. And be gentle with them. Remind them that only you can do the healing work. Remind them that they don't have to work so hard. I would like you to remind your parts that you're willing to connect with them and that you have compassion for them. You might have a part of you that is really snappy right now. Extend compassion to this part. Tell it that you understand and that it makes sense. Remind this part that it doesn't have to be perfect, that no part has to be perfect. You may even wish to just imagine your parts sitting beside you or all around you. Just imagine yourself talking gently to your parts. Reminding the parts of you that you are safe, that you're connected, and that there are always creative solutions for every problem. And just ask your parts over the next several weeks to try not to overwhelm you. So that you can access calm and be more responsive as opposed to reactive. And whenever you notice that you're moving away from calm and compassion towards self or others, or you're moving away from and becoming more disconnected, or you're moving away from being creative and becoming set in your ways, if you're not moving within the realm of those 8 qualities, then just curiously ask yourself, what part is here with me? And try to connect with that part. What information can you get from what this part is trying to do and what it's telling you? Or what it might be feeling in your body. You might not even notice a part. You might just notice that you have an ache in your back. Move into that part of you. The part that is experiencing pain. And talk to it. Connect with it almost like you're talking to a friend. Remain impartial and non-judgmental. Move within yourself with courage. Be confident in your ability to overcome all things. We will get through this. If any particular part of you is particularly strong and not willing to separate from you, just tell it that you understand. Don't force it. Sit with it. What is it worried about? What's making it so unwilling to separate from you even just for a few moments? What do you feel like saying to it? Are there any words of compassion you could offer it? This is a time which is very confusing. But you can always start by moving into yourself with curiosity as you navigate this difficult period that we're all going through. Be curious about what comes up within yourself. Observe yourself. Sit with yourself. Love yourself wholly and completely, even the parts of yourself that you might have seen as difficult. All the spaces of you need understanding. I thank you very much for you and your parts taking part in this meditation today. I wish you healing and calm and peace. I encourage you at the end of this meditation to just perhaps do a journal entry on how you're doing, what you've noticed, and perhaps some of your insights. Blessings to you all.